Mass deportation during Trump's presidency aimed to remove undocumented immigrants, but the economic fallout is complex. Industries like agriculture, construction, and hospitality rely heavily on low-wage immigrant labor. Removing these workers could lead to severe labor shortages, driving up costs and prices for consumers. While some argue that U.S. citizens might fill these jobs, the reality is they often shy away from low-wage positions, leaving vacancies that slow economic growth. In areas where immigrants are vital, their absence could trigger economic downturns, with crop losses in farming regions and financial strain on landlords reliant on rental income from these workers. Long-term, the impact could be even more damaging, reducing the labor force, stifling innovation, and cutting into tax revenues. The short-term savings from reduced public service costs might seem appealing, but the broader economic consequences could be far-reaching and detrimental. Donald Trump's approach to mass deportation, particularly during his presidency, aimed to remove undocumented immigrants, many of whom were working in low-wage industries such as agriculture, construction, and services. The economic impact of such a move can be complex and multifaceted, with both potential positive and negative outcomes, depending on perspective. Many sectors of the U.S. economy, especially those relying on low-wage immigrant labor, could face labor shortages. Industries like agriculture, hospitality, and construction are particularly dependent on immigrant workers. Mass deportation could lead to a drop in the availability of workers in these fields, which could hurt productivity, increase costs, and possibly lead to higher prices for consumers. While deportation could theoretically free up some jobs for U.S. citizens, it's unlikely that they would take up the vacant positions, particularly those in hard-to-fill, lower-wage sectors. U.S. workers might be less inclined to fill such jobs, and the resulting vacancies could lead to slower economic growth. It's also important to consider that these industries might not have enough U.S. workers to take on the tasks, meaning businesses could face disruptions or even collapse. If a significant portion of the immigrant population is removed, this could reduce demand for rental housing in certain areas where immigrants tend to reside, potentially creating vacancies in those markets. On the flip side, landlords with tenants who work in industries severely affected by mass deportation could see financial strain due to lost rental income, especially if workers are forced to move out due to job losses. In regions where immigrants are a key part of the local economy, their deportation could cause economic downturns. For example, in agricultural areas, the removal of immigrant workers might result in crop losses, which could in turn lead to job losses, reduced economic activity, and a decrease in the demand for housing. Over the long term, mass deportations could have a lasting negative impact on the U.S. economy by reducing the overall labor force and affecting innovation, consumer spending, and tax revenues. While there might be short-term benefits in terms of reduced public service costs for some, the broader economic consequences could be detrimental. In summary, while mass deportation might be seen as a way to reduce costs related to immigration, its negative effects on sectors that depend on immigrant labor, the housing market, and overall economic stability are significant and could outweigh potential benefits.